It took 16 innings and a record-setting moment, but the Sox 8-game losing streak finally came to an end. He gone, and this ball game is over. Yes, yes, yes.
After the tie-breaking RBI single by Diaza versus the Mariners, the Sox return to the South Side looking for revenge against an Oakland team that brought their A game to the Sox in California over the weekend. And it's payback time. Sox and A's next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Alex Rios, Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, and the Sox as they get set to take on Bob Melvin's red-hot Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. We get set to bring you the first of this 4-game set and the first of this 7-game homestand. It'll be 4 with these guys, finish it off with 3 against the Blue Jays over the weekend. So the Sox coming out of Seattle yesterday where we had a very interesting game. We broke an 8-game losing streak, but it was really nice to see we turned 6 double plays in that game, and it was nice to see Gordon Beckham involved in 5 of those, plus get 4 hits.
I think Gordon Beckham is back, and I know he feels he's very comfortable. Now, we know he could feel, but he made just an outstanding play yesterday, diving to his right, and Beckham can do it all. And as far as hitting the baseball, well, he had 4 hits yesterday, but he's felt comfortable with the bat starting in spring training, so it's no surprise. The only surprise is that he's hitting the ball as hard as he is as early as he came back.
Well, the bullpen was used up totally yesterday. We need Quintana to go deep.
Hopefully Jose can throw the ball a bit better than he did in Oakland when he faced the same club. He went into the 6th inning. He gave up 10 hits and 3 earned runs. And the control was okay for him, not great. So he has to establish the outside corner to the right-hand hitters. If he can do that, he can outduel Straley. Straley was a good pitcher. We saw that in Oakland. Hopefully tonight he won't have as much.
Well, in that game 2 out there, he just dominated us with that changeup of his. So, revenge tonight. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field on a very crisp night for baseball, 54 degrees at game time. And as you can see, the Sox have taken the field. Let's take a look at how Bob Melvin is going to line up his A's tonight. Coco Crisp is leading it off. He's a DH, and it's Lowry, Cespedes, Josh Donaldson with Young, Fryman, Reddick, Norris, and Adam Rosales playing shortstop and hitting ninth. The defense. And now they're going to line up behind Jose Quintana, left to right, Viciedo, Diaz, and Rios. In the infield, Gillespie, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn. Tyler Flowers with the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana. He's 3-2, ERA 386. As you can see, pretty good control, only 21 walks in 63 innings. Now, we just faced this Oakland team, so they certainly are fresh in his mind. He's fresh in their mind. And hopefully he'll have better stuff than the last time out. Behind the plate, Bob Davidson. First base, Jim Reynolds. James Hoy is at second, and the crew chief, John Hirschbeck, is at third. So Mark Parent is going to manage the team tonight. Robin Ventura has a graduation of his daughter, so he's not with the ball club, and there's the acting manager. He's managing the minor leagues. He'll do a very good job. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stevie, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So I hope you could join us for game one of this 4-game set and this 7-game homestand. Switch hitting, Coco Crisp will lead it off. And the first pitch of the ball game is taken outside. Crisp. At 296 homers, he's driven in 22. 2-0. A's come in hitting at 251 as a team with a 3.75 ERA.
Crisp is by far their best base runner as you look at the man who will be giving him the signs tonight. Keep him off base.
There's a strike.
Coco is a better hitter from the left side than the right. Almost all of his power comes as a left-hand hitter. But it's the base running that disrupts you.
And he's a 290 lifetime hitter against us. There's a nice little snap. And leadoff man is retired.
This is a very good play to lead it off. Unfortunately, it is to the glove side. So Crisp probably thinking he hit it hard enough to get a base hit, but some good defense.
Here's the other switch hitter, Jed Lowry. Hitting at 319, 3 homers. He's driven in 24. Takes first pitch strike. These guys swept us out in California last week, but we gave them the second game. Should have won that game 3-2. They won it 4-3 in 10 innings.
Lowry was with the Red Sox and found his way to Houston before settling in the green of Oakland. 324 right-hand hitter.
And he was 3 for 3. He hit the ball extremely hard off Quintana out in Oakland. His error is out number 2. It'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes at 239, 11 homers. He's driven in 33. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
Cespedes has yet to really start to heat it up with the bat. Last year he hit .292. You expect pretty much of the same this year. And the power numbers are right where they should be for him.
Well, these guys have been playing some good baseball. They won 94 games last year, won a division. They've won 5 out of the last 6, 11 of the last 13, and 16 out of the last 19.
And it's put them within a game and a half of the first place Texas Rangers.
And there's one that's slicing and slicing and caught by Rios. So nice, quick 1-2-3 inning after a half inning of play is their guys nothing and our guys coming to bat.
It's going to be Alejandro Diaz, then Ramirez and Rios with Dunn, Konerko, Viciedo, Gillespie, Beckham, and Flowers rounding it out. The defense behind Dan Straley. Cespedes, Young, and Reddick in the outfield with Donaldson, Rosales, Lowry, and Fryman. Along with Norris behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection is Dan Straley. 3-2 this year, ERA a little bit higher than he would like, but he's got a good changeup. It certainly handcuffed our lineups in Oakland. Hopefully, having seen him once, this will be a better trip around for the boys.
That changeup of his was awesome out there. Set everything up for him. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. There's first pitch strike.
It's really a 24th round draft pick in 2009. Only 24 years old.
Out of Springfield, Oregon. One and two. Sox come in hitting at .237 as a team with a 3.84 ERA. Sox 13 and 11 here at home. And Diaz comes in at .257 with 7 homers and 26 knocked in.
Just saw the graphic of a 7-game hitting streak where Alejandro has been red hot.
Off the facade of the mezzanine.
With a good straight change which goes straight down. Straley, with the same pitching motion, will throw a lot of high fastballs, especially to the left-hand hitters. And that time he tried to throw it by Diaz up, but he battled him.
So a full count.
That's what he did last time out. It was pretty impressive. No walks, 8 Ks in 6 innings. But A no decision for his efforts.
Little three hopper. So 1 out.
Pretty sure that Adam Rosales is probably playing in front of a lot of family and friends, being from this beautiful city.
Here's Alexei. Alexei at 273, a homer. He's driven in 10. Alexei out in Oakland was 1 for 3 against Strehler. So the Sox in that 16-inning game yesterday got home in the wee hours of the morning.
But the plane ride a whole lot happier than it would have been had that one gone the other way. That would have been a tough one to swallow. And because of that outing by Addison Reed, who threw 3 innings, his ERA is going to be a lot higher this entire season than it should be, giving up the 5 earnings.
And there is Rosales. 2 down. So with 2 out, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Javangio, our director and the crew, well, they went with Viciato. Steve's going with Beckham. And Tom Sheridan, Rich Kuchar, Lindsey Jordan, Sam Lawson, Jeff Bogacki, and I, Ron Marjalewski. We're going to go with Adam Dunn. As here's Rios. Takes ball 1. Alex at 286, 10 homers and 30 knocked in. Got that one in on him.
Chris Young originally set up on the third base side of second. Then apparently on instructions from the dugout, he moved to the first base side of second in center field.
There's the strike. So 1 and 2.
And there you see, as we show you the wide shot of the defense.
That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3 after 1, no score.
It's brought to you by Miller Lite.
And if you're looking for a flexible ticket plan for the season, Sox Pick 7 and Pick 14 plans let you select the games you want, including great matchups, promotions, and giveaways. So 312-674-1000 and visit whitesox.com. Josh Donaldson off to a big start for this club. Hitting at 332, 8 long ones, and 37 knocked in. And a lot of those 37 have been game winners. The game tires or put them back into it. First pitch strike. In that 16-inning game we had yesterday, some Major League records were set. That's the first time in Major League history where each team has scored 5 or more runs after playing 9 scoreless innings.
That's really amazing to me, seeing as how many games they've played.
Me too. I mean, that first time in Major League history. 12 runs in extra innings tied the American League record for the 4th time. And that's the 3rd time in Major League history that one team scored at least 5 runs in the top of an extra inning game and had its opponent match or better it, because that's softly hit. And that's out number 1.
Well, there you see a game to remember, certainly. And when you're immersed in it, when Hawk and I were sitting there doing it, you have a tendency to lose perspective of the historical significance. We did know one thing. Once we scored the 5 runs, we pretty much thought we were going to win that one and win it right then. Because I asked you right away, had you ever seen that in an extra inning game? You said you had seen it in the 9-inning game.
9 inning, but never in an extra inning. There's first pitch strike, too young. Well, and it's hard to believe that Kyle Seager was the first player in Major League history to hit a grand slam game-tying grand slam in extra innings.
Well, it's only surprising in that you usually don't find 4 runs scored in an inning, in extra innings. But it was one of those games that I know that we'll be thinking about for a while. And if this team does start to put it together, they can look back to yesterday.
I love this game. You're always seeing something you've never seen before.
Well, hopefully we won't see that again. You like the ending, but you don't like the trip on getting there.
Well, I made up my mind last night, making my drive down to Granger at about 3:30 in the morning. But you got to be careful, as I said, what you wish for. Because we got it. There's a strike.
Chris Young is a very good fastball hitter. He has a lot of struggles with off-speed pitches and a lot of struggles with curveballs, and he's going to see a breaking ball here.
And that ball is foul.
Young doesn't play too much against the right-handers, but there was a time when he was an everyday center fielder, and most of the time was as a member of the Diamondbacks. A few years back, he hit 32 home runs.
Gillespie. 2 down.
That one stung a little bit, as you can see Young shaking off his right hand.
Here's Nate Fryman, 6'8", 250 pounds. He's hitting .264, a couple of homers, 15 knocked in.
Had a talk with Eric Wedge about Fryman, and he confirmed that he did indeed give him private catching lessons when he was 8 years old. But because he's become a giant, you kind of grow out of the position.
Well, my old roomie, Frank Howard.
Frank was a bit wider than Nate.
He made Nate look like a small guy.
Yeah, he was wider.
6'8", 303 pounds with a 36-inch waist. That's the plant, the peg. Yes, nice play. Lexi. And that is 6 up, 6 down for Quintana.
Game 2 of the White Sox A's on the south side. It's a rematch on the mound for Sox ace Chris Sale and the A's Jared Parker. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Sportsnet Central, so don't miss the White Sox A's tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Don Canerco and Viciedo here in our half of the second inning on a beautiful night in the city. Beautiful. That ball hit high, high, high. 1 out. That'll bring up Paulie. Paulie at 233, 5 homers and 21 knocked in. And there's another high pop-up. And quickly, 2 out. And post-game traffic? No, you don't want that. Because party at Bacardi at the park? Yes. Open after every home game at USA LaField at the Gate 5 Plaza, Bacardi at the park. So grab your friends and give them a visit. That's Basilios, Sill, Process, and all the great folks over at Bacardi at the park. Just ask for Sill. Here's Tank.
It's 2-0, and you can make a case that both of those pitches were strikes. But Viciedo will certainly take it.
Good rip.
Straley has a surprising fastball. Because his straight change is so good, it makes his 93-mile-an-hour fastball look probably like 96, 97.
Oh, nice swipe. And that is 6 up, 6 down for Straley. Face Jose Quintana. Neither team has had a base runner. We're in the top of the third. There's first pitch strike. Reddick at 177, 1 homer, 17 knocked in. Off to a terrible start for him.
Well, last year he hit 32 home runs. He drove in 85 and had a banner season, although he hit 247. But with a sprained wrist, one that they thought for a bit would require surgery but didn't, he is really just starting to come back and swing the bat.
One and two the count. Checking some other scores. Tigers beat Tampa Bay 5-2 today. You got in on him right there.
Max Scherzer, 8-0.
Yeah,
pretty good year.
Max is good. Reincarnation of Max Patkin.
He looks a whole lot like him, except he's got two different color
Scherzer's
eyes.
better looking, I got to admit.
Well, Scherzer, don't forget, Max was 110 years old, so wait for Max to gain a few years.
I don't think Scherzer could dance like Max.
No, he couldn't, or act like Max.
Baseball's greatest clown, Max Patkin. What a guy. Norris at 2:14. Minnesota shutting out Kansas City 3-0. A game in the bottom of the second. Kauffman Stadium. Texas leading Boston 3-2. Bottom of the fourth at Fenway. Bottom of the fourth in St. Louis. 3-2 Cardinals over the D-backs. Baltimore beat Houston 3-1. Baltimore 34-26. And the game at Washington was postponed as the Nats were hosting the Mets. There's a strike. Phillies scored 2 in the top of the first at Milwaukee.
A couple of roster moves. Jake Peavy going on the disabled list. Brian Omogrosso was sent to AAA. Ramon Troncoso comes up, as does Dwante Heath. So a couple of fresh arms after a whole lot of use on the road for the bullpen. And that's exactly what happened with the roster moves today. There is no doubt, because the pen was used and abused, that they needed a couple of fresh arms, and Troncoso and Heath provide that.
And 3-1 pitch. That's a can of corn. And these White Sox fans, well, they are enjoying the game on the Xfinity couch. The best seat in the house when it comes to the White Sox. And Xfinity gives you a front row seat to all the best action all season long. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Rosales, 30-year-old Chicagoan. Takes ball one. Adam hitting at 215, 3 homers, and 6 knocked in.
Rosales had a base hit against Quintana when they hooked up against one another in Oakland.
One and two.
Good slow breaking ball by Jose, and that gives the right-hand hitter something else to think about.
Well, that's the second most distasteful pitch to a hitter. First is a terrific changeup. Next is a guy taking something off his breaking stuff.
A tantalizing breaking ball that you just can't seem to hit square.
He gone. He knew it. That is 9 up, 9 down for Quintana.
And for Blackhawks postgame live, Pat Boyle and Steve Conroy will take it live to LA to check in with the players and Coach Q for postgame reaction. Blackhawks postgame live tonight, right after Game 4 on Comcast Sportsnet.
No score, bottom of the third. Nary a base runner. It'll be Gillespie, Beckham, and Flowers. A little high. Gillespie at 267, 3 homers. He's driven in 10.
And now he's probably going to face mostly the right-hand pitchers. Now that Gordon Beckham is back every day, he'll split some time with Jeff Keppinger.
Now field spread out, gap out there in left center. And a 1-1 pitch. Bryman. 1 out. So here's Beckham. Gordon. A nice round of applause. Nice hand. Hitting at 333. We missed that game yesterday. We turned, as I mentioned earlier, 6 double plays. We turned 4 in the first 5 innings.
And 2 of this spectacular variety.
And Gordon picking up 4 base hits in that game and scoring the go-ahead run in the top of the 16th after leading it off and stealing his second base of the game.
Straley's stuff is pretty good. You can't go out there and get anything because he's got a good enough fastball to keep you off his breaking stuff. And a straight change he uses quite a bit.
That ball nailed into center field for the base hit. So you can cancel a post-game show.
Gordon does a nice job because this ball is up and in, and Straley thinks he can throw the fastball and at the very least jam him with it. But Gordon able to get a good part of the bat on the ball even though he doesn't hit it hard. And that is the first base runner for either team.
And here's Flowers. At 199, 4 homers, 14 knocked in.
Derek Norris behind the plate throws it pretty well. And that's Gordon over the course of his career, and he's still learning how to be a good base stealer. Eventually he's going to be a very good one.
$21 to count to Tyler.
This pitch well up and out of the zone. And Flowers tardy as he expands his zone.
No score, bottom of the third if you're just joining us. Trying to stay up there. Why not? 2-2.
He's climbing the ladder on Tyler. With each successive pitch a little bit higher than the last.
Cannot turn it. Right off the end of the bat, so they get the lead man. 2 down.
Jed Lowry knew not to hang around second base with Gordon Beckham going in, because Gordon is lining him up in his sights and does go after him, but after he hits the bag. So you hit the bag and you can go after the pivot man, in this case Lowry, who is a shortstop, and it's a completely different throw when you have the runner coming toward your back as opposed to a shortstop with the runner in front of you.
So here's Diaz. He grounded out to Rosales. And takes strike 1.
You have to have very good scouting and get a little lucky when you take a guy in the 24th round and turns into this good a starter. And with the draft today, Mark Appel from Stanford, the first player chosen by Houston. Cubs took Chris Bryant, a terrific hitter out of San Diego, with the 2 spot in the draft.
That's down into the corner. So Reddick gets to it, gets it back in, hits the cutoff man. 2 out, Ducks on the pine. And here comes Alexei. And an 8-game hitting streak for Diaz.
Alejandro does a nice job here because that fastball is down. It's out of the zone, but he went up there looking for a fastball. He got one. They don't play him as a pull hitter. And Reddick has a terrific arm, so more times than not, you're not going to run on him. And that's why Joe McEwing decided that he was not going to chance, especially with Tyler Flowers coming home.
Here's Alexei. He's 0 for 1. Hit the ball very hard to his counterpart, Rosales. Our team has desperately been in need of some 2-out hits. There's a nice gap out there in left center.
You had to look at Jeff Manto, the hitting coach, who just, along with his hitters, has all the emotions they have. When they're not hitting, he feels it like they do, because it's his job to try to get them back to where they were when they were hitting, and it's not an enviable task.
Checks it up, and they say he did go.
Take a look from the side. Ball went against Alexei.
That's cued right off the end of the bat. A lot of spin on it, so 2-2.
And that ball stayed on the dirt. With the spin it had, it might have a shot of going back into fair territory. Once it got in the grass, it was going to stay there. This really has just one wild pitch this year.
2 on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And look at this. There it is. A 2-out hit. It's going to score a pair. Yes. We needed that.
RBIs 11 and 12. And a 2-run lead for Jose Quintana. That fastball down on the inner portion. And just enough to get it over the head of Rosales. A big lift here in the third.
All started with that 1-out single by Gordon Beckham. First hit of the ball game. Don't stop now, boys, as here is Alex. Alex called out on strikes. Alexei, 11 for 12 in stolen bases. Pulled off the pitch and fouls it off right side. 0-1. Ball and 2 strikes to Rios with Adam Dunn on deck. Australia with a decent move to first.
See how
you're
aggressive.
talking about, Steve, 24th round draft picks. You got to get a little lucky. Sure you do. But one thing about it, you can probably be assured that you take a guy in the pitcher in the 24th round, that he's a pretty good competitor.
And also they took a pitcher with size and thought, okay, he might not be overpowering, but there's no doubt that he developed since they got him.
There he goes with a Lance Johnson jump. Now pick him up. Make it hurt.
Nobody bothering to cover second, as Straley doesn't even look at him. He doesn't know that he's gone. And Alexei's not sure. Maybe time was called because nobody in the infield reacted to him running to second.
Ball gets through the wickets.
It looked like Norris came up. The ball stayed down. And on the wild pitch, Ramirez goes to third. Exactly what happened as he comes up expecting the hop, only the hop wasn't there.
And a full count to Rios. Ball 4 base hit right here, Alex. And that is going to get the job done. So that stolen base. The wild pitch, and it's a 3-0 Sox lead.
So Alex gets a fastball. Straley has been not quite as pinpoint with that fastball as he was in Oakland. And Rios drives in his 31st of the year. 4 hits this inning. A bonanza. a shortstop. Picked in the first round, 17th pick. He's 19 years old, out of a junior college in Mississippi, East Central Community College. And there's no doubt they felt he was the best talent on the board when they picked. It wasn't a question of picking for need here. It was a question of picking a talented player. The Sox thought they got one.
So here's Adam. Adam popped up to left field. Want to know the count. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for our guys here in the bottom of the third.
And for a team that doesn't have a whole lot of speed, Tim Anderson, the first-round draft pick, has a tremendous amount of speed.
And Adam has a 2-0 count. Well, that was a big pickup right there, knocking in Alexi, who stole that base in the fashion that he did. With 2 out and then knocking him in. Get out of here. Coming back. And that'll retire the side, but we come up with a crooked number. We'll go to the 4th, leading 3-0.
Cool Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
It's a 3-0 good guy lead here in the top of the 4th inning.
And if this team starts to drive in runs with 2 outs and starts playing some defense, because the defense is starting to get better, they can put together a fairly good run at it.
First pitch strike to Coco Crisp, who hit a pretty hard comebacker to Quintana. Meanwhile, Jose has retired everybody he's seen.
His pitch selection tonight is much more varied than it usually is. I like the way Tyler Flowers is handling him. He's using all of his pitches in all of the locations. And so far, if you throw 6 ground balls out of the 9 outs, you usually are going to be in pretty good shape. The fact that this ball club is just 6 games behind Detroit, as woeful as a team has played at times, it still makes it a race. Detroit having some bullpen problems, having some defensive problems. However, Victor Martinez hit a big home run today, and if he starts hitting, look out.
2-2. Well, the amazing thing about that is they've scored over 100 runs more than we have.
The offense is good and going to get better when Austin Jackson comes back, but the tail end of that rotation in the bullpen has kept it close.
Ryan Dry. 1 out.
Hector Santiago is going to move back into the starting rotation with Jake Peavy on the disabled list from 4 to 6 weeks. So Santiago, who threw very well when he was a starting pitcher, will have another opportunity to do that.
Hard one hopper by Lowry. Sox fans, on Friday, July 19th at 7:10. Your White Sox take on the Braves. Also, the first 20,000 fans ages 21 and over will receive a White Sox Miller Lite beverage wrap presented by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, official beer of your Chicago White Sox. So, WhiteSox.com or 866-SOX game. Cespedes fouled out to Rios in right field. First pitch strike.
He had some good swings at Quintana in Oakland. And lately, he's been swinging the bat a whole lot better. He is an astonishingly strong young man. Jim Reynolds says nope. He did not swing. This cutter down and in, and he was just trying to get that right leg out of the way.
That ball is out of here. So it's a 3-1 ball game.
The good
Number
swings,
12 for Yoenis.
The good swings he had in Oakland, he just showed you one of them. Driven in 34. Narrows the gap to a pair of runs.
So the first hit, first base runner for the A's.
Our forward home run replay is a fastball. It's on the outer third, not far enough away, and a no-doubter.
Here's Donaldson. Got it out to short. Takes first pitch strike. That is the 7th home run that Jose has thrown.
Donaldson started his career as a member of the Chicago Cubs as a catcher. Drafted at the end of the first round, the 48th pick overall in 2007. Last 12 games, he has really started to heat it up. Played an excellent third base, and talking with Bob Melvin, he said he was ecstatic for a converted player, how well he's played down there.
There really have not been that many conversions that were successful. to a huge degree. For an example, probably the biggest one that I can recall was Stan Musial, the Denora Greyhound, who was a pitcher. And Bob Lemon was an outfielder who converted to a pitcher and became a 20-game winner.
Well, there was Babe Ruth, who was a great pitcher.
Yeah, but back in those days, they played both ways.
He could do a few things.
Yeah,
the Babe.
Yeah, they played both ways back in those days. You got an active Cy Young Award winner, Zach Greinke, who wanted to be an everyday player. Kansas City wouldn't let him. He was the shortstop. Alexei couldn't find the ears on it, so that'll be a base hit.
Second hit of the inning in the game. On the transfer, he can't control the baseball.
And here's Chris Young. Young grounded out to Gillespie. Takes first pitch strike. Nate Fryman on deck. Three runs on 4 hits, no errors for our guys. A run on 2 hits, no errors for their guys. Outfield for the most part straight up. That evens the count at 2. Bottom of the 6th at Fenway. Texas leading the Carmines 3-2. St. Louis 12-2. They're leading the D-backs. That game was tied at 2. That's in the bottom of the 5th. He gone. But the home run by Yoenis Cespedes. Sox lead at 3-1. Leaders and achievers from Illinois, Northwest Indiana, and Southwest Michigan. Tonight we're celebrating our 167 Region Scholarship recipients, all of whom are high school seniors who are being recognized for their commitment to community service, academic achievement, and demonstration of leadership. We congratulate each and every one of you. Three-one Sox here in the bottom of the fourth. Canerco, Viciedo, and Gillespie.
All 4 runs in the game, driven in with 2 outs in the inning.
First pitch strike. Cardinal D-back game is a 2-2 tie. 4th inning, Cardinals scored 8, and they added 2 more in the 5th. Pops it up right side, playable. And you can organize a group outing of 20 or more for a Sox game during the season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. Enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite bullpen party porch, pregame patio party, Diamond Suite, or one of our other great party areas. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. It's the Bertucci Boys domain. Ivy Bruno and Handsome Anthony.
You're talking about the Cardinals. If they win tonight, and they sure look like they're going to, be 39 wins, the most wins in the major leagues. So they're putting together just a great year. Despite the fact, like just about everybody else, they've had a lot of injuries.
I'll tell you a guy that's underneath the radar that's having a heck of a year for him is that Alan Craig.
He's a good one.
He is well underneath the radar, and all he's doing is just driving in runs, and that's foul back, and big runs.
And there is one guy they have who's having a good year, and obviously everybody knows about Yadier Molina. What they might not know is the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, he would be the last guy you would want to face.
Well, he's hitting .351.
He just really gets the hits that hurt you.
Holiday hitting at .256. Craig at .316. Freeze at .275. Two down. And Molina hitting .397 with runners in scoring position.
When I get a chance to watch their ball games and watch the way Molina goes about his business, knowing that he's probably the best defensive catcher around, you just have to marvel he can hit as well as he can.
And that is Josh Reddick. He's a good one out there. Meanwhile, we're into the 5th, leading by 2. Stats, tweets with Sox in-game live only on csnchicago.com, brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
Well, you're looking at Tim Anderson's numbers, and they look like Little League numbers. They look like a player you would have in a Little League team, but he did it against junior college competition.
Yeah, the more you see these numbers, you just, wow. 495. He has average 62 runs he scored, 41 stolen bases, 10 homers, 11 triples. As there is a solid single to center by Fryman. So the big man now 1 for 2. And he's a sophomore, 6'1", 180 pounds. Last year, as a freshman, he attempted 30 stolen bases and stole 30 bases.
Speed at the top of the order is essential, and this young man has it in abundance.
Ready? Pops it up. Well, you could get some sabermetricians to argue that point.
That's true, but
give me the speed.
I like to see a guy that can distract the pitcher, that a pitcher worries about. Because you can say the stolen base doesn't count all that much, but I know when I'm looking over there at a guy at first that can steal a base, I might use a slide step. Might not be as good as my normal high kick. And I do worry about the fact that from first, you have got to hit a double to score that man. But from second, any looper or misplay in the infield can score him.
The greatest offensive player I have ever seen, and I played against some good ones in my career, and have seen some great ones in my career. And the greatest offensive player I ever saw was Ricky Henderson. The way he was a game changer. And especially when you didn't have a 20-game winner out there. And there are not too many 20-game winners around.
Nope.
20-game winners don't mind who's on what.
Well, perfect example, Dwight Gooden, Greg Maddux, they could care less. They pretty much let you steal second base because they had no intention of giving up another hit in the inning. But the normal pitcher is going to give up 9 or 10 hits per 9 innings. And he's going to walk 3 guys per 9 innings, maybe more. He's going to have a lot of base runners. And Ricky Henderson could dominate a game from the #1 spot in the batting order, which is really tough to do.
Yeah, he's the best offensive player I've ever seen. And he just tear young pitchers apart mentally. They just melt.
What I hated about him was that he wasn't a short guy, but he got down in such a low crouch that it took away almost the entire strike zone, and he had to throw it into his sweet spot to get a strike call.
3-1 pitch to Norris. Goes over to first. And that is out number 2. So Fryman at second. Well, he's absolutely the last man in baseball that you would ever want to walk, and yet he walked more than anybody in the history of the game.
Well, again, that little bitty strike zone.
Well, you couldn't put with pitchers, you just couldn't pull a greased tee out of there behind with a pair of pliers. You're talking about some tight sphincters.
Well, also, he wasn't like the normal leadoff man in that he could take you out of the ballpark in a heartbeat. And that's unusual for a guy with that kind of speed.
Rosales struck out his first trip. Tops it foul. that's going to score the run right down the line. So that'll be a double. And we got ourselves a 3-2 ball game.
Rosales with his 7th run batted in. And this breaking ball is on the inner portion. And normally when you throw the ball there, the guy's going to pull it. With Gillespie well off the line, this ball hit between him and the line. And it's a 1-run lead.
Picks up his 5th 2-bagger. They go back to the top of the order. Coco Crisp, who is 0 for 2. The comebacker to Quintana and a line drive to Ramirez. But they pick up another one. We're halfway home. We lead at 3-2. We need some more runs. We led it 3-0. It is now 3-2. And here's the guy who started off that 3-run third with a 1-out single, Gordon Beckham. Corners in close. Now field straight up, spread out. And that pitch up high.
Donaldson smoothing out the dirt so he doesn't get a bad hop at third.
Two and 0. Three and 0. And the leadoff walk. First base on balls issued in the game. And the first 20,000 fans on Saturday will receive a 1983 White Sox t-shirt presented by U.S. Cellular, the exclusive wireless provider of our White Sox. Purchase your tickets, whitesox.com or 866-SOX-GAME.
I saw this shirt before the game today. It's a handsome shirt. You'll love it. Come on out and get one.
Here's Tyler hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice. That ball hit hard. Get down here, get by him. Nice job by Young to cut it off, but he chipped a little bit. So the double by Flowers, and we're cooking here in the bottom of the 5th.
Heads up base running by Tyler Flowers because he aggressively went to first base and then noticed that Young lost his balance. There was no way he could get the throw off to second, so Tyler never hesitated. Puts the brakes on, but he has to steady himself. And Tyler is hustling. This is good hustle and good base running. And that's what you want to see now out of everyone, as it seems like things are getting a little bit better for the ball club. And all you can ask of these guys is leave it on the field.
So here is Diaza. 1 for 2, a double, and a run scored. Now the corner's in close for him. Could not check it up.
Here's our AT&T Uverse Multiview. Side look at Alejandro Diaza. And with the arms very good on the corners in Cespedes and Reddick, Joe McEwing's going to be careful with Tyler.
And there's a base hit. So Tyler's going to be held at third. Beckham scores. The leadoff walk comes around, crosses the plate, and it's 4-2. Still nobody out. Runners at the corners.
Alejandro drives in run number 27, slicing this ball into left field. And again, with nobody out, no reason to get adventuresome with Tyler Flowers against the arm of Cespedes.
And here's Alexi. So far, Alexi had the big hit in this ball game. That was a 2-out, 2-run single. And that's going to be a souvenir right side.
Young lady certainly enjoying the game. And she brought her glove. You just never know.
Got way in there deep. 4-6-0 for us, 2-4-0 for them here in the bottom of the 5th inning in game 1 of this 4-game series and game 1 of this 7-game homestand.
Jose now has a couple of run lead with a chance to have a very big inning here in the 5th against Straley.
Good check.
The bullpen now for Oakland, getting ready for the first time tonight.
Piazza dancing around over there.
Looked like he was going to go, thinking that perhaps Straley wasn't looking at him, but then had to get back.
He was thinking about that jump Alexi got earlier. Got in on him, pops him up. Lowry. So 1 out. And you can send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game, and it just might be yours. So here's Rios. Alex 1 for 2, an RBI single. Come on, Alex. That's a big run down there at third. Takes it low and away. Looked at that pitch nicely.
Hideki Okajima loosening in the pen. The left-hander has been throwing for a bit and is somewhat relaxing now. So apparently he's ready to go. Driving in runners from third with less than 2 outs. Alex has been very good.
Alex has been very good for a long time. There goes Diaza. No throw. So he'll pick up his 7th stolen base. 10th attempts. Now pick him up.
We'll see if Bob Melvin, and he's just answered what he's going to do with the infield. He's going to bring everybody in, not in drastically, but in so they might have a play at the plate with Tyler Flowers at third.
And that will load him up for Adam Dunn.
He's going to bring out Kurt Young, who was the Oakland pitching coach. Then he departed for Boston. But after a year, he came right back. They've always respected him in Oakland, and so they brought him back. And he's got a pretty good young pitching staff to deal with. But there's a good pitching coach that you don't hear a whole lot about.
So Sox packed with Sox. 1 down. Adam has popped up to left and fouled out to third. Come on, Adam. Right man, right place, right time, right now. Takes first pitch strike.
It's one of the few times that Adam is going to hit with a regular infield. They can't shift very much at all. As you see, Flowers, Diaza, and Rios on the base paths. Trying to pad the lead.
Reddick can throw. They're going to run him. And that'll retire the side. So we pick up 1. We blow a golden opportunity for more, but we lead it 4-2.
A couple looks at it. Josh Reddick has all the best of it. He's coming in. He's got a great arm. When you send a catcher, even a catcher like Tyler Flowers, you just have to hope for a bad throw. Good collision at the plate. And you saw a good play by Norris in that you angle the body. You take the contact, but you're spinning away from the contact, so you can't get the ball knocked out, and you don't take the full brunt of a very big man hitting you.
And here's Jed Lowry. Takes strike one. Lowry twice has gone out to Alexei. Four runs, 6 hits, no errors for our guys. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for their guys here in the top of the 6th inning. Lowry out of Stanford. One and two the count.
Now Tyler going out there to talk with Quintana, who couldn't get the signs he wanted, and to go over what they talked about pregame and how to get Lowry.
And if you want a fantastic White Sox experience, check out the Comcast Fundamentals deck here at USA LaField. You can interact with White Sox trainers, run the bases at the wiffle ball diamond, and test your swing at the batting cages. So catch all the action with Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY to learn more. 2-2. Take a little something off a breaking ball. Alex, we got a man there. Got a good jump, made a nice catch. One out, and that'll bring up Cespedes. And here's what he did in the 4th inning. The first hit. And it was a long one.
Well, they marvel at how far in the Oakland Coliseum in batting practice he can hit the ball.
Well, physically he's the real deal.
I went down, watched him hit, stood next to him. He's not a real tall guy, but he's a very strong guy.
Well, Tank's not a real tall guy either.
Well, Tank's even a little wider than Cespedes.
Oh, yeah. That's the reason they call him Tank.
Well, they call Cespedes Bank, because he's going to make a lot of it, because one of the things he insisted, and one of the reasons why the A's were able to get him, was he only wanted a 4-year deal. A lot of teams wanted to sign him for 5 to 7 years, and he said, nope, I'll take 4. He'll establish himself, and then he'll really break the bank.
2-1. Nice pitch on him right there.
And for Cespedes, assuming he can stay healthy, he probably made a pretty good decision.
And that ball hit deep the other way. And it's a 4-3 ball game.
As he was going around, he said a little something to his countryman, Alexei Ramirez at shortstop. This shows you just how strong he is. Ford home run replay. This ball is well out away from him. In fact, it was on the outside corner. He reaches out, and Alex, with a valiant attempt, just runs out of room.
That'll bring up Donaldson, who had an infield single. He's 1 for 2. And that ball hit deep into right center field, but we got a man there. 2 down. 3 hard hit balls here in the top of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Chris Young, who was grounded to third and struck out.
And with Jose not walking anybody, he's only thrown to 79 pitches, so it's doubtful he's tiring. That this Oakland team, they've got some sluggers. They got some guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
They've got 60 home runs.
Yep. In their ballpark, that's not bad. And in our ballpark, you can tell our team hasn't really even come close to heating it up because we're well behind Oakland.
We have 53. Gets jammed, pops it up, but the opposite field homer by Cespedes, and they pull a little closer. It is 4-3 White Sox. More cash back when you earn up to 5% back on purchases in categories that you choose from U.S. Bank Cash Plus Visa Signature Card. Apply today at any U.S. Bank branch.
Well, Straley, behind some pretty good defense last inning, got out of a tough jam and gave up only 1 run.
So here's Paulie. Paulie has fouled out to first and popped up to right. Takes up high ball 1. First of 4 against these guys. Tomorrow night, Chris Sale against Jared Parker. We'll have that game for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then on Saturday, Johnny Danks against Malone. Tommy Malone, and that game will be over WGN. Then on Sunday, Hector Santiago against A.J. Griffin in that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. Paulie, the last White Sox player not named Adam Dunn to hit a home run.
Yeah, have not exactly been knocking down the fences.
No, and that was back on May 22nd.
Well, eventually, when springtime gets here and it gets some heat at the ballpark.
And that's into left field, right at Cespedes. So that's a hang Wolfham, 1 out.
Our team should be a whole lot better. We can get some temperatures in the 80s sometime before the end of July. That sends Norris to the mound to talk with Straley.
Tank has grounded to third, struck out, and gone out to right. Quickly 2 out. First pitch strike to Gillespie. He was grounded to first and gone out to right. That ball hit hard. Get over his head. Nope. Ryan shot. Meanwhile, 1-2 3 inning, and we're into the 7th. Taylors. Game win unless you play. As we get set to go to the top of the 7th inning, we have 4 runs on 6 hits. They have 3 runs on 5 hits.
One of those games where your manager, in this case Mark Parent, says to Jose Quintana, son, because of our bullpen situation, even with Troncoso and Heath called up from the minor leagues, you got to go deep into this game. And we're in the 7th, and Jose is still around.
Indeed he is. So here's Fryman. He's 1 for 2, a single and a run scored. Watch out. Slowed up and thrown out. 1 pitch, 1 out. 1-4-3.
And I got to see if he's okay. It seemed to hit the glove. So it was almost one pitch and one pitcher out. But Jose was able to deflect it and defend himself.
Well, he's not as good defending his position as Santiago, but he's decent.
Yep. Made a couple of pretty good plays today.
Yeah.
And Fryman has hit the ball hard.
Well, he's got the right approach. He's left-hander.
And it's amazing because he was picked in the Rule 5 draft once in his career, placed on waivers once in his career, and now he's found his way to Oakland and he's got a chance to play.
Yeah. Well, he's 26 years old. He's right at the cusp of that, where guys usually find it or they don't. 26, 27, 28. Reddick can't get it. And then the count 1-2. Josh has grounded to second, and he's popped up to second. Out of Savannah, Georgia. Grew up in Guyton.
And the Red Sox thought he was going to be a pretty good player. But letting Papelbon go off to get a huge contract with Philadelphia, they needed a closer. Andrew Bailey was a closer they needed. So he got traded to Boston. And Reddick came west.
Two and two. Well, Reddick is going to be a good player.
You get everything you need to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's according to, the 6 inches. And that's between the ears. And we got ourselves a tie ball game. 4-4 tie. Got a hanger and didn't miss it.
Only the second home run of the year. Reddick's now driven in 18. And that's more like the Josh Reddick that Bob Melvin, last year's manager of the year, saw last year when he hit 32 home runs. Ford home run replay. A rolling curveball that stays over the inner portion and long gone.
Well, with the way we've been playing versus the way they've been playing, they've won 16 out of the last 19 games. We've won 1 out of the last 9. You just get the feeling that we're just hanging on.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the inning previous to this last one, the 5th inning, was so damaging, because second and third, nobody out, base hit by Diaza, and all of a sudden you look like you're going to put together a big inning and you're turned away with only 1.
A 9-2 double play. Totals on the board identical at 4-6-0. So this is where we got to bow our necks, cinch it up and hunker down and win this ball game. Had a 3-0 lead if you're just tuning in. And that's into left field. So Norris is retired, 2 down. And here's Rosales, who's 1 for 2, an RBI double. Takes first pitch strike. Rosales has always played well against us. One and one to count.
Yeah, something about this Chicago uniform brings out the best in him.
Well, his numbers aren't that good against us, but he's played well against us.
A pretty decent shortstop and can play a lot of different positions.
Yeah, he's their all-purpose player. Almost walked right into that one. Those all-purpose players are worth their weight in gold. My favorite all-time all-purpose player, Tony Phillips. Could play anywhere. Good foul. It will. Tony could play second, short, third, center field. And do some damage in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And wanted absolutely to win. Boy, he was a competing Jesse. That little top hand that Silas put on that one.
Well, that hits him in the chest if he doesn't get around and smoke it down the line.
Watch this top hand.
He's got no choice but to make contact here.
And that's popped up and playable. But the long home run by Josh Reddick. 7th inning stretch. We're tied at 4. Got ourselves a 4-4 tie. We led it 3-0 after 3. They scored singletons in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We added another one in the 5th. Yes, Gordon Beckham. Gordon is 1 for 1. Hard single in the 3rd, and then he walked and scored in the 5th. That's out of play. 21,156.
And Straley has averaged under 6 innings per start. That being said, he's in the 7th. So we'll see if the boys can take advantage of a pitcher that might lose that pinpoint control.
One and two.
Pretty decent numbers for Straley. Doesn't have the changeup that he had against us just a short time ago. He's only fanned 2. Last time, no walks, 8 strikeouts in his outing.
Yeah, he just dominated that game with that changeup.
Well, that was our guy's first look at him also. And when you see a pitcher twice in the span of 6-7 days, it's a little easier the second time around.
Got him. 1 out. And right now, let's check out our AT&T tweet of the game at Chicago Fan 27. Says, guys, how come I never get picked for the tweet of the game? I love the Sox. Hashtag White Sox talk.
Well, we just have to say that we would never pick that for tweet of the game. So that's the reason why you don't get picked, and that's a simple explanation.
Tyler. Tyler had that double back in the 5th inning. Looked like we had a chance to put 3 or 4 on the board and could only squeeze 1 out of it. And that's the difference in the game right now, as we're tied at 4.
The pen up and going. Blevins, tall left-hander. The Pet Neshek, the most unusual right-hander.
One out, 1 and 2 the count.
So Bob Melvin knows his pitchers, and he knows just about the time when, even though the stuff still looks pretty good, there's a chance they might be tiring.
And that has popped up in the right center field. Reddick making the call. 2 down. Well, Bob Melvin has done just not a good job over here with the A's. He's done a terrific job with this ball club. Manager of the year last year, and deservedly so, winning 94 games in the divisional title. He got these guys to think, well, we can win a ball game today. Let's go win a ball game. And that's the attitude you got to have, the will to win. Never out of it. They led the American League last year. Comeback wins. And this didn't take long. A quick 1-2-3 inning, and we'll go to the 8th. We're tied at 4, top of the 8th inning. Top of the order, Coco Crisp, Jed Lowry, Yoenis Cespedes.
And the biggest out, probably Crisp, in that if he gets on, most likely Donaldson comes to bat, and Cespedes with somebody on, and Cespedes has been too tough for Quintana to retire tonight.
Well, Chris makes things happen against us. Oh, and 2 the count. He's got 41 RBIs against us in 80-something games. Counting today, 90 games. 41 RBIs in 90 games. He is not what you would call a big run producer, except against us. High pop up, stay in here. Stay in here. Nope. That figures. Just out of play. And of course, his 10 home runs against us is the most he has against any other team.
Not exactly known for a man that you worry about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. But he's got 6 this year. That one right
into our dugout.
Into the dugout. And the bullpen up and going. Matt Lindstrom. First time the bullpen has been throwing this evening.
Get over there. So he's on base. What new?
As soon as Adam couldn't get to it, it became a very difficult play.
$12 for 14 on stolen bases.
And Jose, unfortunately, falls off the mound to the third base side. And it looked like he stopped, started, and Crisp just too fast.
Laurie 0 for 3. He's grounded to short twice and lined out. Rios made a nice catch on him. Just a decent lead by Crisp.
Bob Melvin hasn't shown it a lot, but this becomes a good hit and run situation. Lowry does not strike out very much. He's fanned this 32 times in 219 at bats. And he's made contact all 3 times tonight.
Take your time. Rack him up. Yes. 2 down.
And they decide not to run. And a very crisp 5-4-3. And it takes the speed off the bases. And so it could very well be that that's going to be it for Quintana. Beckham, with Crisp not getting a chance to get any part of him, makes the easy throw. So at 105 pitches, the call to the bullpen has been made. Matt Lindstrom comes in. Nice round of applause for Jose Quintana. We'll step out and be back after these messages. On for the 31st time, a 2-2 record, a 3.12 ERA. And he's going to face Yoenis Cespedes. Let's look at the pitch sequence the first time up in the 4th inning. You have to vary your speed, certainly, but you also have to vary your location. In, and on the inner portion. That goes out of the ballpark. Second time up, he misses there, but then goes away, and out. So patterns develop, and Cespedes hit 2 home runs.
And he takes strike 1. He has faced Lindstrom 3 times, and he's 0 for 3. Four tie with 2 out here in the top of the 8th. And that's the can of corn. And we'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Ramirez, Rios, and Dunn. Represent the White Sox at the home team charity race on Sunday, July 14th. It starts at U.S. Cellular Field and ends on the warning track. Runners will enjoy a post-race festival, awards, and more. So for more information, visit hometeamcharityrun.org.
Sean Doolittle comes on, and he's having a very good year. He's 3-0, the ERA 3.20, on for the 27th time. Now, when we saw him in Oakland, also in relief of Dan Straley, he came out for 1 inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. As you can see, right-handers haven't done a whole lot with him. He is a pretty tough guy to hit. And he's a guy who converted to a pitcher. After doing some damage to his hand, he couldn't play anymore. So while he was recuperating, he started to throw the baseball, and all of a sudden they found he had a terrific arm, and they put him on the hill.
He can get it up there in 95. There's Alexei, 1 for 3, but it was a big 2-out, 2-run single as there's first pitch strike.
Jesse Crain loosening up in the pen.
Quickly 0-2 the count. One out.
This ball maybe catches the inside part of the inside corner. Alexei didn't like it. But overall, not many complaints about Bob Davidson behind the plate tonight.
Here's Rios, 1 for 2. A 2-out RBI single. If you're just joining us, we led this game 3-0. He just kept chipping away, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. We picked one up in the 5th, and that way it is full.
And it wasn't like Doolittle was a bad hitter. In 2008 at Stockton, he hit .305, 18 home runs, 61 driven in. Then he got injured in 2010, and that's when they found out he could throw.
So he injured his hand?
I believe that's what it was. And he couldn't play any defense at all, so all he could do was keep his arm healthy and sound. And they converted him.
And there is a tweener. Going to the wall. So the double by Alex. That's his 14th two-bagger. Meanwhile, the go-ahead run on is second with 1 out.
The most consistent player in his ball club all year has been Alex Rios. And he's done it by staying up the middle most all the time. Now, he'll use the gaps on both sides, but he's had a very solid year, a good year defensively, a great year throwing the ball in right field, and he represents a go-ahead run.
So here's Adam. Adam 0 for 3 tonight and 0 for 2 lifetime against Doolittle. That is out of play. 0-1 the count.
Mark Parent, the manager, Robin Ventura, attending his daughter's graduation.
No, won't be too long before he and also Joe McEwing will be managing a major league team.
Now, unfortunately, you would hate to lose both of them, but you can never stand in the way of a man and a major league managerial job.
Well, it's going to happen. The 0-2 pitch. Good eye.
Adam has struggled once again against the lefties. Let's see if this time's a charm. This year, 3 for 44 against the lefties. 2 of them, however, left the ballpark.
Good rip by Adam. Meanwhile, count hangs at 2-2. Paulie on deck. Viciedo in the hole. Another good rip.
That was a good pitch to hit. Despite the fact it was a 97, it was right down the middle. Doolittle probably wanted it a little higher than that, and Adam just swung through it. Fouled it back.
Breaking ball and 2 out.
After looking at that fastball, he gets frozen on a breaking ball.
So here's Paulie. Paulie's due. He's 0 for 3. Paulie has fouled out to first, popped up to right, and lined out to left. Ball hit hard, but bobbled. Got time. And right at him, that ball was hit sharply by Konerko. Meanwhile, we're into the 9th.
One and 1 ERA, .68. And he, like just about everybody else in that bullpen, worked pretty hard yesterday. But Jesse's numbers this year bordering on the ridiculously good. Just as we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And here's our Miller moment. And it came back in the 3rd inning. First 2 runs of the ball game driven in by Ramirez, runs 11 and 12. At that point, it was 2-0. Rios was later to make it 3-0, but Alexi Ramirez, the man who authored our Miller moment.
Totals on the board identical at 4, 7, and 0. So it'll be Donaldson, Young, and Fryman, the scheduled hitters, to face Jesse Crane. Donaldson had an infield single. He is 1 for 3. Drops the hook on him, and the count 0-1. That fastball.
And Jesse with 23 straight scoreless appearances. Struck out 29 in 22 scoreless innings to lower his ERA from 3.86 to .68. What a year it's been.
He gone. One out.
good fastball away. Jesse's averaged just about 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. So all the numbers spectacular this season.
Chris Young, 0 for 3. Takes first pitch strike. Young is grounded to third, struck out, and popped to short. First of 4 against these guys, first of 7 on this homestand. Make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark tomorrow night. Chris Sale against Jared Parker. As there's a curveball for strike 2.
Throw another one of those, and Young will have a seat. As Chris looks on, sitting next to Jake Peavy with the disappointing news of missing 4 to 6 weeks, the fractured rib.
He gone. 2 down.
Another curveball, another strikeout.
So we're going to have pinch hitter Farr. Fryman, it'll be Brandon Moss.
That's a platoon system at first base. Moss playing against the right-handers, Fryman against the lefties.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
This one is there.
Ball hit hard, but we got a man there. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Viciedo, Gillespie, and Beckham tied at 4.
Jesse Crane, who comes in the game and freezes Donaldson. Throws a fastball up and a fastball away, and he gets it. And then it's Chris Young. Looks at a curve. Looks at a curve. Swings at a curve. 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. The whiff. And Jerry Blevins comes into the game at 4-0. The ERA 171. Only 4 walks, 20 strikeouts, and 26 in the 3rd inning. So he's been awfully tough. Brandon Moss stays in the game at first base. Viciedo has the lone walk-off home run of the year. That coming early in April. Wouldn't be a bad time for another one. Extra innings, probably not on anybody's agenda.
Well, he's due. Go for 3 tonight. Good way to start it. The base hit in the hole. So leadoff man aboard.
Now we're going to see a pinch runner, I believe. Should be Jordan Danks. Yes, it is. That way you use one player and insert him in the outfield. So carrying the winning run, Jordan Danks. Pinch running for Viciedo.
Gillespie, 0 for 3. Squares to bunt. They got him easy at second base. And just
Connor pulled up at
he pulled
first.
up and almost got doubled up.
I have no idea why he decided to slow down, but he did. He was upset with himself over a bad bunt. That being said, he came an eyelash from getting doubled up. Donaldson charging hard, makes a good solid throw, and then Rosales just misses doubling him up.
Huh.
A little casual.
Here's Gordon. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
That came very close
to be
to
a balk.
To me, he stepped more toward the plate than he did to first base. It's at 45-degree angle. Jim Reynolds is looking at him. That time, I pretty much guarantee you, if Bob Davidson was a first base umpire, that would have been a balk.
First and third in Gordon. Gordon has faced Blevins one time. He's 0 for 1. Connor did not get any kind of jump whatsoever right there, but you can't get picked off on the hit and run, but he's in scoring position and 2 down.
No play at second base, but they do cut down Beckham.
So you got Diaz on deck. Here's Tyler Flowers. Tyler 1 for 3 with a double.
And Norris looking over in the dugout to see if Bob Melvin wants to put Flowers at first base, take their chances lefty on lefty. At least for the moment, no. Make him pay.
Looks at ball 1. David Ortiz hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Boston beats Texas 6-3. So the A's 1 game back as we speak. One and one to count.
That was framed nicely by Norris, who probably sold the strike. And Tyler thought this one was inside, and he's got a point.
Well, he's, you know what he's thinking is, why don't you give our guys those pitches?
That was even more inside than the
That
other
was
two.
brutal there. That was absolutely brutal. That's terrible. Beef jerky, feed your wild side.
The fourth pitcher of the night is Matt Thornton. Thornton at 0-1 ERA, just under 3.5 on for the 27th time. He follows Quintana, who went 7 2/3. Lindstrom for a third. Jesse Crane for a most impressive 1 inning. And now Matt Thornton, as Jordan Danks stays in the game in center field, shifting Alejandro Diaz over to left.
So here's Reddick. It'll be Reddick, Norris, and Rosales to face Matt. Reddick, 1 for 3, a long home run. Takes ball 1. One and one to count. Reddick has faced Thornton twice, has 1 hit. He gone. That didn't take long.
He stayed outside and perfectly handled Reddick. Looks a little different against a lefty than he does against a righty.
Well, he was hot at Davison as well.
Yeah, but if he's going to call him out there, call him.
Chops that over into our dugout. That's the third one in our dugout tonight. Hang loose over there, guys.
Kind of unusual with that screen to bounce it over the screen, but they should go the batting helmets.
Norris 0 for 3. 24-year-old catcher. He got a chance to be a good player. Chops that one down. So it's 1 and 2. Outfield, straight up. Norris only got 2 home runs, but he's got a little pop. Watch him take BP. There's a fair ball, 2-hopper, and 2 out.
Red Belfour loosening up in the bullpen. He is their closer. Although Matt Thornton is trying to make sure there's nothing to close.
Salas with a good rip. He's 1 for 3, an RBI double back in the 5th inning. Last thing we needed was another extra inning game.
Well, let's hope out of the inning here and a 10th inning dramatic ending.
Oh and 2. Detroit beat Tampa Bay 5-2 earlier. Scherzer 8-0 over Hernandez, 3-6. Valverde his 7th save. Bottom of the 8th in Kansas City, tied at 3 with Minnesota. Get foul. Get foul. It won't. And it's a 5-4 Oakland lead.
And Rosales hits his fourth, his second driven in of the night. A Ford home run replay. A high fastball. Rosales brings his hands in, able to get the good part of the bat on it. The only question is, would it hook? And unfortunately, the answer was no.
So here's Crisp. Crisp had an infield single. He's 1 for 4. Takes first pitch strike. It'll be the top of the order for us. Diaza, Ramirez, and Rios. Oh, and 2 the count.
Fourth Oakland home run of the night. Two for Cespedes, 1 for Reddick, and now a very costly one to Rosales.
Two out, 1 and 2 the count, 1 in. Here in the top of the 10th. 5-8-0 for them, 4-8-0 for us. Oh, nice pick right there in the peg. Can't get him. Good stop. Couldn't finish it off.
Gillespie saves a double, but then with the speed of Crisp, you got to put it right on the bag. Unfortunately, Adam comes off the swipe tag. He does miss him, and Crisp also misses the bag. He doesn't come anywhere close to the first base bag. Then he has to go back and make sure he tags it. So it's 2 hits in the last 2 at bats.
2 infield singles, and here is Lowry. He's 0 for 4. He's grounded out to short twice, lined out to right. Rios with that good catch and hit into a 5-4-3, a sharp 5-4-3 double play.
Ramon Troncoso just called up. He undoubtedly will be brought in to face Cespedes if it goes that far.
Take strike 1. Lowry is 1 for 3 against Matt. We led this thing 3-0 after 3 innings. He had another one in the 5th. And that is 5-4 Oakland.
They scored a run in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We go with the 1 here so far in the 10th.
Chases that one, can't get it, and the count 1-2. That breaking ball. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 in here in the top of the 10th. Full count. Cespedes on deck. One thing about Lara, he is the new equivalent to Mike Hargrove.
He's not rushing in anything because he learned his baseball in Boston, and they got a lot of guys that take some time to get in the batter's box.
Fouls that back. I can't say anything. I was worse than him.
Well, you had to adjust your gloves.
Yeah, that's part of it. I just like to upset that. We were taught to upset the pitcher.
Yeah. If you get a guy that likes to work quickly and you can upset his rhythm, you win the battle.
Yeah. And the payoff pitch. And that's popped up right side. Beckham. But the home run by Adam Rosales. We got a problem. We trail it 5-4 going to the bottom of the 10th.
Does have a 1.48 ERA, on for the 25th time. He has 13 saves, including 1 against us in Oakland. 24 and a third, only 17 hits. Walked 11, fanned 26. And he's got to go through the top of the order. So it'll be Diaz, Ramirez, and Rios to face Grant Balfour.
Balfour loves to throw first ball fastball strike to get ahead. So we'll see what we can do with it. Balfour against us, ever since he has come in to the American League, has always been very, very aggressive.
He's also a guy that doesn't mind taking his time on the mound. So as a hitter, knowing that he is going to take his time, usually you might want to take yours. There you look at a career
exactly right.
against our Sox. 3-0 with 4 saves total. He wasn't a closer for a long time, getting an opportunity as a 35-year-old to close every day for this Oakland club.
So here we go. We need 1 to tie, 2 to win it. Let's get 2 to win it and get out of Dodge. Diaz 2 for 4 tonight, a double, an RBI single, and a run scored. Jump all over this first ball fastball. Right there for a strike. A little high for Diaz. That evens counted 1. Chris Sale against Jared Parker tomorrow night, so make your plans to be with us. If you can't, that game is right here, will be on Comcast Sportsnet. Saturday, Johnny Danks against Tommy Malone, and that game will be WGN. Finale here Sunday. Hector Santiago against A.J. Griffin. And that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. All right. Right here. Two and two. Full count, ball 4, base hit right here, Alejandro. Just got a piece of it. Outfield, they are spread out. A lot of room in those gaps. And there's a chopper base hit.
That's the second time tonight that Diaz has taken one right off the ground and turned it into gold through the right side. This is going to be ball 4, but it doesn't really matter very much if you chop it through that big gap. There's a tying run aboard.
And Alexei has not homered since the second game of the season, which is absolutely unbelievable. Only bad thing is he's faced Balfour 6 times and he's 0 for 6. Huge gap out there in left center if he can find it, but he's going to bunt. And he'll get the job done. So the tying run at second.
Good solid sacrifice by Ramirez. You don't see this too often from him. But Mark Parent, doing the honors as a manager tonight, calls it. Alexi with the first sacrifice bunt of the year. Very effective.
And here's Alex. He's 2 for 3. A strikeout, an RBI single. That was a 2-out RBI single, a walk and a double. And he has faced Balfour 14 times and has 2 hits. And one of those hits stayed in the park. Blocked by Norris. I tell you, the more you see this Norris, the more you like him behind the plate.
Well, that was a big play because if he can't knock it down or if it drifts too far away from him, Diaz is going to be standing at third. Then they got a huge decision on what they want to do with their infield. So Norris turns the glove back, gets down, makes sure that he angles his body and this ball trickles out in front of him. And Diaz can't advance.
Well, we liked him behind there last year and like him even more this year.
Yeah, he's a good one.
There's the strike. Big pitch coming up here. The tying run is second, 1 out, and a 1-1 count. Adam Dunn on deck. And that is Souvenir, right side.
Balfour cuts it away. It's his slider that doesn't do a whole lot, but he kept it on the outside corner, and Alex couldn't get the good part of the bat on it. And so with Balfour standing out there and taking his time, Alex steps out.
That's the way to do it. And there's that fastball at 94.
Two-time manager of the year and manager tonight.
Once again, a 1-2. Another nice block right there by Norris.
That's a terrific stop because that one was headed to the wall. Norris goes out, able to just corral it into his chest protector. Balfour almost made his third and fourth wild pitches in his inning.
Attaboy, Alex. Make him wait on you. Full count. You hit at your pace, not at his. And the 3-2. With a two-hopper, Lowry. And that is out number 2. Yaz in the third. So here's Adam. Adam is 0 for 4. Adam has had some good pitches to hit tonight. Had some good swings, but just hadn't done anything. He's popped up to left, fouled out to third, lined into a 9-2 double play, and struck out.
Got a double lifetime against Balfour, but he also has been throwing a few pitches in the dirt. And so far, his catcher has bailed him out. Derek Norris has been equal to the task.
That one at 83 and grabs a strike. Five 9-0 for the A's, 4-9-0 for our Sox. We led it 3-0 after 3.
A couple of spinning sliders has grabbed 2 quick strikes. She can't bear to watch.
Oh, and 2 the count. And ball hit high and deep, way back, and not quite out of here. Dadgummit. Mercy. And this ball game is over. Son of a gun. They come back from a 3-0 deficit. They win it. They have now won 17 of the last 20. And we have lost 9 out of the last 10.
Well, Adam gets a big piece of this one. After 2 sliders, he gets a fastball, takes it the other way as he should. And Cespedes, measuring it all the way, makes the catch. And the fans with some hope. And then, nope.
All right, let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is Chicago native Adam Rosales, who homered in the top of the 10th. Our GMC player of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., also for the mayor, me and Joe Grew, and Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Doug Bowe, Dennis Wood. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.